Some of you have done this before with me, so you're old school at this, but for those of you who haven't joined me yet, we're going to create a character together, and a story can evolve from our creations, and you are welcomed to change whatever you want to do to fit your own creative direction you want to go in. But if you want to just follow along with me, you're welcome to. And so here we go. So I usually like to start with our paper vertical, like a book. Most books, you know, we see in, you know, like chapter book, middle grade, they will be in the vertical layout. So make sure your paper is like that. And we'll be drawing on the bottom like 2/3 of the paper. And we want to leave this nice big band of space up here for the type, which is going to be last. So we're going to start with the character, and we'll see what clever little stories we can come up with about the character. So I'll be asking questions, and maybe I'm just going to move around the screen, and unless you have a burning desire to answer my question, raise your hand and I'll call on you. If I don't see any hands up, I'm going to just start picking you. So, yes, Deland.
Sorry, I had a couple of questions. Does this run for 1 hour?
Yes.
Okay, good. And should we be drawing with, you know, something indelible like a Sharpie, or with a pencil that we can erase?
Definitely use a pencil where you can erase. And you can color it in later or whatever you want to do. But I'm drawing with the Sharpie so that you can see it, because it's kind of far away from the camera. Okay? So, I usually like to begin with the head of a creature. If you think of all kinds of Halloween characters, or could it be a child dressed up in a Halloween outfit, or maybe it's a mythical creature or a robot, or we're on another planet. I mean, there's all kinds of directions we can go in. So let's start with a head. Who would like to choose an interesting head? I see Cyrus's hand is up immediately. Okay, go ahead.
A zombie, of course, a zombie. That's the only Halloween thing that you can really think of.
Okay.
It's just a zombie.
Okay, so let's think of an animal or something head, and we'll zombify the head, okay? So let's go to somebody else and pick a head. It can be an animal, it could be a person, it could be a witch, a goblin, a dragon, whatever. Anybody got any ideas? Come on, Allie. It's awfully quiet. Cyrus, I know you have an idea. Go ahead. What kind of head?
A zombified chicken.
A zombified chicken. Okay. This sounds very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to start with a regular chicken head, and then I'll show you how to zombie it up, which you probably can all do better than I can either. Anyway, so, all right, so with a chicken, I usually like to start with a beak, and I just drew a chicken. I was surprised it has a curved beak. I thought it was straight, but it isn't. It's pretty curved. So you can go ahead. So that's like a bent letter V. Notice how I have the beak facing that way, like the chicken is going to be moving that way. So I'm leaving room on this side to finish the chicken. So kind of draw your beak over a little bit. Okay. And now let's see, we'll draw a little nostril, and we'll do the chicken head, which is just kind of a curve around like this. I'm gonna make his mouth open because he's gonna be like, you know, like a zombie, like maybe with his tongue hanging out. So, but let's make zombie chicken eyes. You ready? I'm gonna put 2 eyes really close to each other. And then they're gonna be kind of like crazy. And then if you have any red pencils or anything around, you can do little like veins. He looks a little possessed or something. Zombie chicken. I like it. Okay, so I'm gonna draw his tongue hanging out. So I'm just gonna do like chicken tongue. I don't even know what a chicken tongue looks like. So I'm just gonna give it like a, oh, we've got another one. Who do we have here down at the bottom? Your beautiful curly hair. Who's that? Can you introduce yourself? Oh, can't hear you.
I'm Aiden. Let me just put my name.
What's your name? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Kind of cut out.
Aiden.
Aiden. Okay, Aiden. Nice to have you. Do you have your paper and pencil ready? Because we're going to draw together. You got paper and pencil, maybe with an eraser on it. We're drawing a zombie chicken. Does that sound good to you? We got to catch you up. Are you drawing? Can you copy this? All right, for you other guys, let's, we can have this mouth coming out from behind the tongue, the bottom part of his mouth. So it looks like he's going. Okay, and now I'm going to come down and make like his feathery neck. He could also be a bald eagle at this point, couldn't he? The chicken would have like his little, what do they call this thing up on top? What is that called on a chicken?
A comb. It's a comb.
Okay, so there's our zombie chicken so far. Let's see, is he dressed up for Halloween, or what's going on in this zombie chicken's life? Where'd he come from? Was he gonna be somebody's breakfast, and somehow, how did he get zombified? Let's see, who has an idea?
He was going to be somebody's breakfast.
He was gonna be somebody's breakfast. How did he get zombified? Was he bitten by a zombie? Is that what happened?
No, he ate the zombie.
He ate the zombie. He could have been bitten by the zombie too. So let's, he is escaping from zombie land maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it Halloween night, do you think? Let's take turns answering questions, Aiden. If you have something to say, you can raise your hand. John, what do you think? Is it, is it Halloween night?
Definitely.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that he's a real zombie, but people think he's just dressed up for Halloween, right? But he's really a zombie chicken. So is he gonna have like zombie costume on? Or is he just gonna be himself? Anna, what do you think?
I think he should be dressed up like a zombie.
Okay, so he's a zombie chicken and he's dressed up like a zombie. So that's like torn clothes and like holes and everything and dirt and blood and all that, right? So we're just gonna make him look a little raggedy. We'll give him a little raggedy shirt. So there's his sleeve. And maybe we can make a hole in it. So when I go to make a hole in a sleeve, I kind of make it look jaggedy. And then his feathers are sticking out. And they can just be like feathery. Okay, so then we'll do his other arm. Is he gonna be trick-or-treating, you think? Paxton, what do you think? Do we have a trick-or-treater?
I think he would just be wandering.
He's wandering
When I
around.
tend to think of zombies, I think of brainless. That's why they want brains.
I think they sense brains from like a mile away.
Oh, is that right? So he's looking for brains. We'll just keep drawing his little.
Here's an idea. Instead of brains, it's grains.
He's hungry. Let's finish his shirt. We'll just make it kind of raggy. He's lost his buttons. So we'll make there's a buttonhole. We'll give him one button. There's the button falling off over here. You can make him kind of dirty. You can make him like do some scrabbly lines that make things look dirty. Like came from out of the chicken grave. What would you rather do? Be eaten by people for dinner or turn into a zombie if you were a chicken? What do you think would be better? Do some details on his neck for feathers. Okay, and we'll give him some chicken legs. You ready? Chicken legs are a little complicated. You could also use chicken legs for dragons. They make good dragon legs too. So basically you just have the leg come out like he's walking. Zombies kind of shuffle, so we can't make them like, we'll make both feet on the ground. And then I go 1, 2, 3, and then the back claw. And then this one is coming out that way. And I go 1, 2, 3, and the back claw. And then for details, I just studied bird feet for a griffin that I was doing an illustration for, and I noticed that they have these beautiful scales that are bigger, that run up the tops of their toes. So you can draw those in. And then they're kind of scaly, that you can make them like circles. This is too thick a marker to show detail. So you can make like scaly lumps, make good feet. And then the ends are toenails, so you can color them in or paint them a color like he went to the salon before he came out wandering around. Where are we in this picture? Are we like near a cemetery? Are we in a neighborhood? Are we at a party? Where could our zombie chicken be wandering around? Oh, Aiden, what do you think?
At his birthday party.
At a birthday party, okay. What'd you say?
His birthday party.
At his own birthday party? That's interesting. Happy birthday, zombie chicken. Okay, do we have details on our feet? Everybody got their details in? So maybe he's got a little birthday hat on. So he's at a birthday party. Maybe he's holding on to some balloons. So let's draw some balloons. Does he have any friends? Some balloons. And he's a birthday party, maybe in a cemetery? What do you think, Cyrus? Go ahead.
He doesn't have any friends because he's a zombie, and I think his birthday party should just be in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere.
Just like he's walking on a wayless path. It's just walking on a sidewalk that he doesn't even know where it leads to.
Yeah, because when you're a zombie, you don't even know where you're going, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that he's got somebody who wants to help him? Does he have a sidekick? Let's give him a sidekick.
Maybe bald eagle would be okay. Like
Well, let's get some ideas. Allie, go ahead. You got an idea? I can't hear you.
We could do like a vampire bat almost.
Oh, so he's flying along with him?
Sure.
Okay. A bald eagle vampire bat. How about that? So let's see. We'll give the vampire bat a eagle-like beak. So right next to him, I'm giving him room because I'm going to make wings. So I've got fangs on his beak. Can you see that? Or is it hard to see because it's small? You guys see that? So it's a curved beak just like the chicken's beak. And then I've got two little fangs coming out. And then is the bat a zombie too? I wonder. Or is he just trying to guide his friend along to find grain brains? Yes, Aiden.
They're both zombies, and so are the shadows.
Okay, let's do bat ears. All right, bat wings are really fun. You ready? I'm gonna draw this one out this way. And I got two little hooks because they got it. That's what they use to hang on to things with. And I go out that way. And then I go 1, 2, 3. This part of the wing is going to connect to his foot. So I'm going to just leave that down there for now. And I'll do the other one. Up. Give him some hooks. And there's his wing. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 down to his feet. And then you could just give him his little bat feet. Squiggly lines work just fine. We got to do his bottom jaw, so I'm just going to open his mouth a little bit like that. Give him the nostril. And then you show motion lines in illustration by, so we see he's flying around. Okay, so I know he is in nowhere land, but that doesn't make our cover very exciting. I kind of want to have some background. We could have, I'm drawing behind the sidewalk. And notice how I'm not doing it straight across my paper. I'm going to make it skinny where he's been, and it's going to be wider as he comes down the hill. And if you want, you can draw, you know, sidewalks have the, okay. We could have a full moon, which helps. Doesn't that help zombies, or does it matter? They don't need full moons, or is that just werewolves? Yes, Aiden? What do you think?
Full moons only help werewolves. Werewolves form at the full moon.
All right, well then let's just make a beautiful quarter moon. So we know it's nighttime. So let's think about what's going on in this story. We've got a zombie chicken walking down, aimlessly down a sidewalk, looking for grains and brains. It's his birthday, but I don't think he really gets it because he's zombie, and zombies don't really care if they have a birthday or not, because they're just one thinking. They want to eat something. So his sidekick is another little zombie eagle bat. And look, can we name these guys? Let's think of some names. I'm gonna write some down. Everybody gets a chance to come up with their own names because you're gonna use them on your covers. So let's start with Paxton. You got any names for either or both?
Gary the zombie chicken.
Gary and we're going right for the title. Is that what we're doing?
Well, no, just the name is
Okay.
Gary.
Gary is the sidekick.
No, the chicken.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So the chicken is over here, and the sidekick, SK, is over here. Okay. Cyrus, what do you think? You got any names? We're just gonna throw a whole bunch out there and see what sticks.
Maybe Frank the chicken.
Okay, Frank. And what about the sidekick? We'll come back to you. Deland, what about you? You got any ideas for names?
I was thinking of Arnold for the bat.
Okay, Arnold.
Do you know how I can get the little muting message screen off the main screen? Because now you're behind it. But
Oh gosh, I
I don't have that much computer smarts. That's okay.
her muting messages in the middle of the screen. She can't get it on. There's nothing you can click on.
I'm clicking around it. I'm clicking on it. It's okay. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead. I'll go back to mute.
Bree, what about you? You got any ideas for name of the chicken or the name of the bat?
We could name the chicken.
You want me to come back to you?
Frankenstein.
What'd you say?
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, the chicken? Franken chicken. Yeah, if we take Frankenstein, we might not be able to
It
cross it in copyright infringement.
could be Chickenstein.
Chickenstein. What about you, Aiden? You got your hand up.
I have names for both. The chicken could be, the chicken could be zombie, and the bat could be sidekick.
Oh, well, maybe we can use those names too. Zombie and sidekick. Okay. Go ahead, Cyrus. You got a name
Clarence. Clarence.
for the
That's
sidekick?
for the chicken. Clarence the chicken.
Clarence the chicken. Okay. What about you, Allie? You got any?
For the bat, it could be Vamps.
Vamps. I like that. That's a good one. You got a chicken name?
Michaela says Diablo.
Diablo. Diablo the zombie chicken. That has a nice ring to it. Anna, what about you?
I think the chicken should be Ranger.
Ranger the chicken. Ranger the zombie chicken. We only have 2 names for a sidekick. Go ahead, Aiden.
3. Sidekick was the name for sidekick.
I know, I wrote that down already. Okay.
But
How about John? I see your name there, but I don't see you. Are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Do you have any names?
How about Larry for the sidekick, and Esther for the chicken.
Yay, finally we get a girl name. Larry for the sidekick and Esther. Esther. Is that how you
Yes.
Okay. All right, everybody had a chance at names? Okay, so we've got lots of good ones. Gary, Frank, Frankenchicken, Chickenstein, Zombie, Clarence, Diablo, Ranger, Esther for our chicken. And our sidekick, Arnold, Vamps, Larry, and sidekick. So now we can start to come up. Let's think about this story a little bit more, and then we can add some more details. We've got nighttime. I really think that we got to get a cemetery in here, you guys, because maybe that's where the chicken came from. Maybe it was buried in the cemetery. I'm going to draw a nice hill, and then I'm going to draw a hill behind it. And it's going to come out here. And then let's draw some tombstones. And then I'm going to draw a hole in front of this tombstone with a pile of dirt next to it. And I think that's where Zombie Chicken came out of. So his name can go right in there, whichever name you pick. You can write it on RIP Diablo. So we've got our Zombie Chicken. We've got some more tombstones. Now, if you want to make your tombstone look 3D, you would add this little side piece, and then you could do a little base for it too. So you see how this one looks flat? But if I add this little extra, it makes it look like it's thick, okay? So we'll draw some more tombstones. And they are smaller as they go in the background. Smaller and smaller into the background. All right. So Zombie Chicken's birthday is today. So even you could draw his birthday date on the tombstone also, couldn't you? So you can pick a day and do that. Did the sidekick give him the balloons, I wonder? Is the sidekick trying to get him back to being normal? Do you think he cares if he's a zombie or not? What do you think, Aiden?
Remember I said the sidekick is also a zombie.
Right. So they're both zombies.
Yeah. And so are their shadows.
And so are their shadows?
Yeah.
Zombie shadows come alive?
Zombie shadows, do I've heard.
I know that. That's interesting. So maybe we should make some shadows. Make some shadows.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a light source here. Our moon is our light source. So if the moon was shining on our zombie chicken, it would cast a shadow that would come away this way. So you follow the light source. So I would make my shadow like this. And then I have the leg come up. And you can color that all in. I'm going to use a thicker marker for this. And then this one. And then you see how I start at the feet and I make the legs coming out, and then he's got his raggedy shirt, and I'm just going to make a big blob right here. Well, maybe I could show his comb up on top, and then you can just color all that in dark. So if the shadow comes alive, let's make zombie eyes on the shadow. Ooh. There's his beak. You guys get the shadow thing? See how that works? See, and then he's got his balloons are casting shadows too. And our bat could be casting a shadow, but it could be off the page. But for the sake of our drawing, I'm going to make our bat on the page. We'll give him zombie eyes. You can just keep the shapes really simple for the shadows, because that can get really complicated. So if these shadows are zombies too, what do the shadows do? They have to stay with their zombie, don't they? They can't like escape and be on their own.
But they can interact with other people.
They can. Can they like do things so that people like turn people into zombies, you think? Let's see. We have a lot of stuff we could make titles. We have the names. So say Gary and Arnold, or we'll just stick to Gary. We don't have to say anything about the sidekick. Maybe find out about him in the story. But to keep our title short, we could say Gary and the, what do you think, Paxton?
I was thinking, why did the zombie chicken cross the road?
Why? I hope you have a good joke for this.
Why did the zombie chicken cross the road? Because it was brainless.
Because it wasn't, brainless is good. Okay, so the zombie chicken is named Gary Frank, Chickenstein, Zombie Clarence, Diablo, Ranger, or Esther. So what are some titles? We got some nice room to do some block lettering. Anybody got some ideas for titles? Yeah, Allie.
The Night of the Zombie Chicken.
The Night of the Zombie Chicken. Okay, that's a good one. I'm writing this down. Anybody else have an idea? Paxton?
Gary's Big Night Out.
Gary's Big Night Out. Another title? Go ahead, Allie.
Michaela said The Curse of Halloween's Eve.
The Curse of who?
Halloween's Eve.
The Curse of Halloween's Eve. John Niles, come on.
I'm so bad at this.
Pick that name. Which name did you come up with?
Esther.
Oh, Esther. Okay, how about Esther and
the Missing Body.
ooh, that sets up a whole other storyline. I love it. Esther and the how about Esther and the Missing Body? And that works really well for a title because we don't see anything about the missing body, but we do see this empty grave. So maybe Esther didn't come from that. Maybe the missing body came from that, and Esther is going to be the detective. Or what else? There's really good stuff in that title, John. Good job. What about you, Anna? Do you have any ideas for a title?
Zombie on the loose. I already wrote that on my cover.
What was that, Aiden? Go ahead. Zombie and the what?
Zombie on the loose.
Zombie on the loose is a good one too. But let's let Anna say one.
Ranger's Graveyard Encounter.
Rangers what?
Graveyard Encounter.
Rangers Graveyard Encounter. Let's see. All right, we've got some really good ones. Is anybody else, Deland, did you want to come up with a title?
No, I was thinking like Esther and Arnold's Excellent Adventure or something.
Esther and Arnold's Excellent Adventure.
Then you get the alliteration.
All right, everybody get a chance? Okay, you have another one, Cyrus? One more?
I think the sidekick and the zombie chicken's bogus journey.
The sidekick and the zombie chicken's bogus journey.
No, but like the names, and then the bogus journey after it.
Oh, okay, so we'll do Esther first, or Gary and Arnold's bogus. That's too much like that old movie. Come on, you can come up with something more original than that. You were testing me. Okay, but we got a good one. So here we go. We've got The Night of the Zombie Chicken, which is a good one. Gary's Big Night Out is good. The Curse of the Halloween's Eve. Esther and the Missing Body. I think that's got my heart right there. Zombie on the Loose is a good one too. I really like that. Ranger's Graveyard Encounter. Esther and Arnold's Excellent Adventure. That's like the movie too, right? Bill and Ted, was it? So anyway, you can sub in any of the names that you want. So instead of Zombie on the Loose, it could be Zombie Frank on the Loose, or Clarence on the Loose. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Esther and the Missing Body, because I like all the different stories that can come out of that title, okay? So we know this is Esther. We've got a hole in a grave, so we know there's somebody's missing. So Esther and the Missing Body. So this is how I figure out, before I write it into my picture, I've got to figure out how I'm going to get it to fit. This is how I do it. I'm going to practice. You guys have an extra sheet of paper you can practice on? Esther and the Missing Body. So I'm going to do Esther up here, nice and big, and then and the missing body down below. All right. So one of the things I have to do is find out the middle of both lines. So Esther, I'm going to give some room. E-S-T-H-E-R. Okay, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half of 6 is what, Aiden? Do you know?
What did that?
Half of 6.
3.
Yeah, so I count 3 letters, 1, 2, 3, and there is the middle. So I have 3 letters on one side and 3 letters on the other, okay? Yeah. And then, and the missing body. So I'm gonna write and the missing body. That's kind of long. And what happens to me, and I don't know if it happens to you, but I usually end up going down the page because it's so long and I didn't plan ahead and it doesn't fit on the page. So this is why you do this first. So I count all the letters in the spaces here. 1, 2, 3, 4 is a space. 5, 6, 7, 8 is a space. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is a space, 17, 18, 19, 20. So half of 20 is 10. So I count 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I put a line, and there is the middle. Okay? So, and the missing body. I'm going to start in the middle of my page, and it starts with this S. And I'm going to write this out. S, S, I, N, G. And then I got to fit body in here. Body. And it's just gonna fit. And now I go backwards this way. I am, there's missing. And then E, H, T. And then D, N, A. And look, I fit the whole thing on the page. That's a little illustrator's trick. Okay, now I know that Esther, we're gonna do Esther in block letters. So whatever name you wanna use, you can go ahead. And of course you can use whatever title you wanted to use too. It just helps to plan out your lettering on a separate piece of paper so you can figure out the middles and make everything fit. Okay, so H-E-R, I'm gonna do a big H. So this is about the middle, right? Do an H, E, R, and then a T. I'm going this way now. S, and an E. And it should be pretty centered. There's a little more room over here. Okay, so now we're gonna block letter these. And this is how you can do it. You can just, there's a couple of ways. I'm going to show you a couple of ways. You can go all the way around the letter without touching the letter. See how I did that? And since you're using pencils with erasers, you can just erase the middle and you've got a nice big block letter. You guys get what I mean? The other thing you can do is like for the S, you can just make it into a block letter. It's harder to do it with like the T because you can go up like this and down like that and make it like that. Or you can just go over it. This is something that I do. So I've got, you can just color it in so you can't see the lines, or you can use a pattern on the letters to color it in. It doesn't have to be a solid color. And then you can't tell that I used this block lettering. This is another way to do the block lettering. And then you can either erase that middle line or you can color these in. You can make, listen, for the R, I'm gonna go up, go around and go down. And I can make polka dots. I can make zombie scales. I can make, let's see, a snake S. You can turn your letters into all kinds of creatures, right? What can we make out of the T? You just put some claws on each end. Claws. And we can make the T hairy. We can What are some things, what other things we can do to our letters? Anybody got some ideas? Here's another thing that we can do. So you know how we cast this shadow on our chicken? We can cast a shadow on our letters too. So if I imagine that this moon is shining up on my letters, that means that one side of the letter is going to be in shadow and the top will definitely be in the shadow. So I'm going to make this a thicker line over on this side and this side. And look at how it makes it look like my letters are 3D. That's when you're making your block letters really big and blocky. So I'm going to keep doing that. Oops, it's kind of sloppy blocky. Let's see, it'll work for the R really well. And then you got to do the inside of the letter too. This. Esther the zombie. Does anybody else have any ideas about their story? I love the missing idea. So let's take this into the missing body idea. We've got Esther, a zombie chicken, walking around aimlessly in nowhere land in a cemetery. And she notices that there is a grave that's been dug up. What connection could the missing body have to Esther? Is there a connection? Yeah, Paxton.
Since she's a zombie chicken, that could be her missing body. Like the missing body would reference to her.
So
It could be her child.
go ahead. Say that again.
It could be her child.
Oh, her child could be the missing body? There's an
Yeah,
egg.
Miles, I had no idea you were this dark.
Well, you know, you get around these young teeners and they really can get a good Halloween story going.
I can get dark, but not as dark as John. His is like much.
So what other, someone suggested maybe to have a shovel near the grave, or, you know, did someone shovel out the dead being in there, or did the dead being come out on its own? You know how you see the hands coming up out of the dirt? Yeah, Paxton.
I was actually going to say the exact same thing. What if you draw a hand?
That's a good idea. So I've got a little room here, and I'm just going to draw. It could be a claw or a hand. So I have it coming up out. If you really want it, you can make it stick way out. There's two hands coming out. Ooh, Esther and the missing body. I really love the shadow zombies and how they're going to be in the story. So make sure that if you guys write this story, get them in there, because that's a really good idea. Thank you, Aiden, for that wonderful idea. Deland, do you have something to say?
Yeah, on your cover, are you going to add like the author and illustrator's names?
Of course, yeah. So you can write anywhere you have room. You can do it down here, written and illustrated by Deland, what's your last name? Stageman? Deland Stageman, John Miles, Paxton Brownell, Aiden Davies. So yeah, make sure you get all your info in. And you can also color this in. Remember, it's a night scene. So even if you color it all in shades of blue and leave your moon nice and white, You can also, if you paint it, you can leave the white of the page to show the moonlight hitting things. And then just have the night sky, but you don't want to be too dark because you need your type to stand out. So one of the things you could do is box your type. Can't do it with the things right there. And that way you can have a real dark background behind your type, which will pop this out. The moon could be yellow. This could be yellow, and that will really pop out your type. Because remember, you want it to be really easy to read. It's hard to do that when you have a lot of things going on in the type, but I couldn't resist. It was too much fun to try to make these letters interesting. That's another fun thing that you can do, is take your name and do block letters of your name nice and big on a piece of paper, and then illustrate the letters. However wonderful, inventive ways you can come up with. And make them big and blocky, like we talked about. Make them sitting in a field with turtles walking by and zombie chickens nesting on top. There's all kinds of things that you can do. So take your block lettering and take it a next step further in your life and have some fun with it. And of course, you know, keep inventing characters, and as you invent characters, stories come. And with a nice group setting like this, we can play off each other's ideas, and you can really carry a story out, and you can have a lot of fun with that. So I think the next step, you guys, is take your story and make a graphic novel out of it, and have a really good time. And I think that we're gonna wrap it up. Does anybody have any questions? Cyrus, you got your hand up, go ahead.
Can I make it into a comic book?
Absolutely, definitely, that would be a lot of fun. Deland, did you have something to say?
I was just looking at my image on the computer. Do you see the chicken on top of the cupboard behind me, behind my head?
Oh, yes. Oh, you got your very own zombie chicken.
Serendipity or what?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was terrific.
Oh, good. Thank you. Hey, Aiden, what do you have to say? You have some ideas?
I was gonna make it into a book.
You're going to make yours into a book?
This is going to be the cover.
Oh, good. Yep, that's what we meant. That's what we meant to do. All right. Does anybody want to put their piece of art up to the camera so we can all show each other? Oh,
Sure.
Lovely, Cyrus. Very nice. Zombie chicken art. Oh, there's Esther.
It's not on its hind legs, so that's what it makes. That's what makes it realistic.
Yeah, very good. Nice block lettering. I can really see that, Allie. It's hard to see your image. It's far away. Move me a little closer to your zombie chicken. Good job. I like your shadowing. Very nice. It's great. Anna, get it up a little closer. Very nice. Oh, look at John's. That's good too. You guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. Nice going, Paxton. That was a good bat. All right. So thank you.
He's cheating. That was mine.
Good for you, Abby. All right, everyone. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. Jackie's most recent book is available at the Chatham Bookstore. And don't forget, in October on the 1st, check out our website, SpencertownAcademy.org. The Family Arts Kaleidoscope is presenting Steve Charney. He's a composer and ventriloquist. So that should be very interesting. So check that out. That's our next offering. And thank you so much, Jackie, for coming today and joining us.
Thanks, everybody. It was a lot of fun. Great imagination.
Thank you.
Keep those imaginations going.
Write those stories down. Bye.
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 Bye.